Hello fellow freedom seekers and welcome on this beautiful sunny morning. It is a morning after a terrible storm, and yesterday afternoon we were nipping in and out from our caravan trying to minimize damage on other pitches, trying to secure flying awnings and pick up skylights which blown off. So I would like to tell you about it today, take you for a tour around the campsite where we could possibly see some signs of storm, and maybe I'll give you some words of advice how to minimize damage to your awning, to your caravan, to your skylights. We had 2 flying skylights around the site yesterday. Let's dive in and let's stay safe, hopefully. Miraculously, our parasol for diesel and our 2 windbreaks are still in place. We saw awnings flying, we saw skylights flying, but our Van Gogh windbreaks are still here, and this is their 3rd season. Well done. Yesterday I picked up our neighbor's skylight from our lawn just outside our caravan, and I dashed to the shed to get tarp and rope because they live quite far, and I thought we could cover the hole in the ceiling. Basically it was pouring down, and I called the site owners, they called the owners of the caravan who lost the skylight. But I was sitting in our bedroom and I was looking at the rain, you know, pouring inside my neighbor's caravan, and I thought, oh no, I have to do something, I can't just sit like that. So I ran to get tarp and rope, and I was prepared to get Marek when he finished his work to cover the roof to stop rain from getting in. But by the time we got organized, a technician arrived and he fixed it properly. But it was awful. It was absolutely awful. We had 2 skylights which blown off yesterday, and one was secured with the rope and the other one was secured with boards from inside and out, so it is possible to put them back in place. But what you definitely don't want to do is to just leave a hole in the ceiling and let the rain in and cause damage inside. The other thing we did yesterday with Marek was securing this awning and pinning it down to the ground because it was flying up and down, and we were worried it will hit other vans. So I brought our heavy-duty pegs. I can pull one out to show you. So these are our brilliant pegs, look at that. So this is what I used to hold this awning in place, and this peg is definitely better than this. Or, God forbid, they were even thinner than this. This is not good for spring, generally not good. I would advise something like that. That's our pegs we lend our neighbors, so use something like this. Look at the difference. So these are your heavy-duty North Devon awning pegs, and these are good for a pup tent on a sunny day. So here is the skylight I picked up yesterday, and look at that, we were just talking to the neighbors. It's not very sturdy, is it? Thin plastic, and it got ripped off. Luckily it didn't cause damage to the ceiling, so it's only a case of replacing the skylight. All awnings are expensive, even second-hand one. This one looked new. So my word of advice to you, fellow freedom seekers camping, is that if you spend a lot of money on an awning, don't save on your pegs. You really need heavy-duty pegs and storm straps till probably May in the UK, especially on the coast. Okay, we got to the Belle Tents. Luckily they are still here. That means someone tied the knots properly. 2 awnings are in place. They look okay. They look alright. Unfortunately, one here just by the lake got hopefully not damaged. Let's have a look what happened here. Ah, the poles came off. Okay. So this one has 2 poles and a little arch in the middle here, but it looks like they are not damaged. They are just out of place, but they are not damaged. So we just have to put it all together and it will be fixed. Yeah, Marek will deal with that in a minute because I'm off today. He's working, so he will sort it. Here is the skylight which was secured with a rope. Luckily it didn't snap when it blew. It's the one in the lounge, the thin one, the big one. They seem to go first. They are the most sensitive, the most delicate. Make sure you close them properly, you lock them securely before you leave your caravan. Our outside team managed to secure it with a rope, and that held it in place. It could be much worse. Luckily, there are people living on site. We keep an eye on these things. We react, we phone people, we notify owners if something is wrong. We patch up and secure things in place to minimize damage if it's possible. But can you imagine what would happen with this caravan if it was left there without a skylight for a night or for a few days? Rain would get in, it would cause horrible damage, probably the van would be written off. So my advice to you is keep your caravan in a place where someone can check on it, where there are people, because weather is unpredictable. And please tell me and share if you've ever suffered any damages due to bad weather in the UK, due to storms or high winds. Here is another awning which got secured with a storm strap by the outside team yesterday. So what could happen? Well, the worst thing that could happen is when those poles tangled up in fabrics get flying. They can cause damage to other caravans, to cars and generally property. Sad view, very sad view. We still have our campers in tents, and hats off to them for choosing the right tents and pitching them up properly. They're still here, no damages. Very brave campers. And overall, I think we've been really lucky, because these collapsed awnings, they are collapsed awnings. They are not ripped or damaged. No damage to other caravans, luckily. Luckily, we didn't lose any trees, and that's mostly because many trees will fall in winter. So any trees which were rotten or ill, they were cut down. Luckily, because if the owners didn't do that, if they didn't manage the woodland around us, it could have been much worse. All A-frames were down on the ground yesterday. We didn't bother picking them up because they would be blown away again, but they need a good clean. They are all in mud. That's another job to do for us. And guess who's writing all those A-frames? Me. It's not too bad here. We've been really lucky, because the weather was horrendous. The gusts of wind were up to 60, even 90 miles per hour in places yesterday. So considering what I showed you, this is not very serious damage. And I've seen stories online, I've seen it on Facebook groups, that other sites suffered worse, much worse damages. So how to minimize it? How to minimize the risk of something like that happen to you? Well, my first word of advice would be leave your caravan in a place where someone can attend to it, can check on it in bad weather. Someone will give you a phone call if anything goes wrong. You don't want to leave your caravan in the middle of nowhere with no soul around it. Don't save money on your pegs. Get the best ones you can. Get heavy duty, sturdy, thick pegs for your seasonal awning, for any awning, for your tent. Don't save money on pegs. It's not worth it. And my final tip, don't save money on your insurance. Most of our neighbors sleep pretty well, and they are calm because they have insurance. They are covered by insurance. So get the best insurance you can, read the small print, make sure your awning is covered in all weathers, that there are no exclusions. And I bet there are different conditions for covering touring caravans and different for covering seasonal caravans and on seasonal pitches with seasonal awnings. So ladies and gents, I really hope this was the last storm of the season. I'm off to clean my windbreaks. I didn't want to clean them before because I was worried that any cleaning products may cause damage to the fabric and that they will rip in the wind. But if my Van Gogh windbreaks, which are over 3 years old, survived such horrendous storm, nothing will break them. So I'm now confident to clean them. So off I go. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you didn't suffer much in this horrible storm. If you have ever suffered any damages while camping, let me know in the comments, share with others. Maybe it will serve as a lesson to others and it will help us avoid such bad stories in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's free. See you in the next video. Bye bye.